Hello, everyone. Oz Konar here with Business Lending Blueprint, and we have now a more familiar face, Sam here from Business Lending Blueprint.
Hello, I'm back.
All right, Mike says I'm here. Metalhead. Sorry, that's I guess the name that you have. Probably not your real name, but are we starting? Yes. Sorry. We're a couple of minutes late. I was trying to figure out some of the features of the software that we're using, but we're good. Let's do an audio and video check. Whoever is here, can you guys say hi or let us know? Well, let's just do this because we're going to get a bunch of random responses. Can you give me a yes if you can see us and hear us, please? No? That can't be good. I'm sure there's some kind of delay, but yeah. All right, I got one hi. That's good. Marcus says yes. Okay. Perfect. Okay, good. So the delay is like more like 7 seconds. That's good to know. Let's get started. Today, I wanted to cover a different topic than the last live we've done last week. We got amazing feedback on that one. That was great to see your comments and emails about that live. For those of you who missed it, if you go back to my channel, you can see that we covered, how to start a lending business, how to become a business loan broker, pretty much, and went over some of the details of our community, how the industry works, and all of that. So if you're totally green and you're trying to figure out, like, all right, what is business loan brokerage, what these guys do, and all that stuff, you can check that. A little intro about us. I'm the founder of the largest business loan broker network in the United States. And Sam is a part of our team. She's responsible from the onboarding of new customers who want to become business loan brokers. And we enjoy what we do. So we help people become financially independent through this amazing business model, and we help them, claim their own financial freedom and build a recession-proof business in the loan brokerage industry. So today, I wanted to cover this topic of what the best business to start is, and you might be guessing that I'm just going to cut to the chase and talk about business loan brokers, but it's not what's going to happen. I fortunately or unfortunately have a lot of experience in different business avenues. A lot of the stuff that you probably have been exposed to through your research, especially if you thought about starting your own business. So I wanted to make a list of the most known businesses out there and do like a pros and cons thing and talk about a business model that beats all of that and why that is so. So that way it's a lot more objective than me just being biased and telling you guys that, hey, the best business is the one that I'm doing right now. That's not what's going to happen. That's why I've been preparing for this live in a way. So we're going to keep it super casual, obviously, but I want to make sure that I deliver a lot of value. So if you're doing your research on what business to start, it's obviously you're going to come across a bunch of them. And Sam and I are here to help you make that decision, right? Because certain businesses, let's be honest, are better fit for certain people and certain businesses are not. And the problem is that people do not know what category they need to put themselves in. So they end up in situations that they wouldn't want to be in. And they think the whole business model doesn't work because of that. But they don't notice that it was a decision-making process that led them there. And they ended up going with the wrong business based on where they are in life, their experience level. So I'm going to share some images that we're going to build this together. Hopefully it will make sense. But if you're watching us for the first time, if you're not a member of our channel, I would highly appreciate if you can like the live video right now and subscribe to our channel. That is super important. So that way you get notified. For example, last week, a lot of people were not happy that they didn't get a notification from YouTube somehow, and they were not on our email list. So if you want to be notified, it's important that you like the video and you subscribe. And hopefully whenever we do new videos, you're immediately notified by YouTube. So I appreciate if you do that. So before we get started, I want to do a little survey here. So we have a bunch of people. How many of you know about business loan brokerage? If you can give me a yes, that would be great. If you have no clue what I'm talking about, you can type in no clue. If you're just starting to learn about this, you can just say just started. So I have an idea who the audience is because certain things might be like super obvious. And if everyone knows about it, I can just skip through that because the goal is to make sure that you leave with something today of value so you can go ahead and apply it to your life. So James says yes. No clue. We get 1. No clue. Okay. So yeah, I'm just going to wait for those to accumulate. The way we're going to do this call today is I put together some things, some visuals for you guys, so you understand how to decide the business model based on where you are in life and your level of experience. And one of the most important parts is your net worth, meaning where you are financially, because certain vehicles, and each business is considered a vehicle because it is designed to take you from point A, which is where you are right now, to point B. And between point A and point B, there's a distance, right? Excuse me. So let's say you're not happy with point A right now because of various reasons. It could be because you don't like your job, you don't like your boss, you don't like your hours, you don't like the neighborhood that you live in, you don't like the income that you're making, you don't like that you don't have time for family, your spouse and kids and all that stuff. That's where you are right now. And this is your current situation. Then you have a desired situation where you want to be. And the distance between these 2 points needs to be covered through a vehicle. A vehicle sometimes could be a better job, a better career opportunity, sometimes a better business or a new business. But when you just think about this, that decision can get really, really overwhelming really fast, right? So the first advice I'll give you, get really clear on that point A and point B. Most people do not even do that throughout their entire lives. Like clearly identify, this is for you, not for me, where you are right now. Like, are you where you want to be? Like, when you look back 10 years ago, did you see yourself at this very point? Because where you are right now is a result of the actions you've been taking, or lack of it, up to this point, right? And you have to define, what is it about the point that your current situation that you do not like? And again, I went through a bunch of examples here. It could be the financial situation, it could be the location, it could be the business that you're in, and all of that, right? You have to clearly define it. That's your current reality, right? And point B is where you want to be. What would the ideal life look like if it had a magic wand and kind of change it tomorrow? I know that's not possible, but what if you could do it? What would that look like? So don't scare yourself and be like, oh yeah, I know that. No, that will never work. Just let your mind loose, let your imagination loose, and just plan. Just think about what the life would look like. And when you define that, job is, believe it or not, is halfway done, because now you know where exactly you are, where you want to go. Let's keep it simple as an example. Let's keep it fully monetary. Okay, so you're at $5,000 per month right now. You want to get to $30,000 per month. So there's a gap. Now you got to find something that's going to get you to $30,000 per month. So can you get there through changing your jobs? Unlikely, because you have to jump. It's like a massive jump in salary. I mean, there are jobs who pay that much, but it's just it's a lot of jump if you're making $5K right now. So what do? Well, you can start a business. You can supplement your $5K with a side gig or a side business. Then that can take you to $10K. Maybe you just double your income, right? But will that vehicle allow you to get to $30K per month? Most businesses do not, right? Most businesses are fine until you make 5-10K per month, and anything beyond that is not really scalable. So I want everyone to do that exercise first in your mind, or if you're writing it down, write it down so you're clear on that one, because as we're going through different business models, you need that to apply it to the specific model, right? So is this making sense so far? Let me go through the responses on the question that I asked. I had a no clue, little knowledge, just getting back in swing, no clue. Hey, everyone. Hey. AED, hello. Okay, got it. Thanks for the responses, guys. For those who just joined, the question I ask is, how much do you know about what we do, like business loan brokerage and all that? But this video is independent of that. So we'll evaluate different business models. So we're in second half of 2022. We'll go through what are some of the most prominent business ideas and which one could be a good fit for you. So I'm just going to share my screen real quick and show you some visuals as to what I will go through today. And we'll build this together, hopefully, and it will all come together when I'm done with it. All right. Sam, you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, you just have to make it full screen. You just see the top. Yeah, there you go.
You can see the full screen now?
Yeah.
Awesome. So I'm gonna magnify this a little bit. This ship kind of represents you, right? This the iceberg situation here. So you want to navigate your ship to a destination, but you only see the surface of that. You just want to make more money. That's like most people, right? So you want to change your current situation that has to do with your finances. You just want to make more money. But below that, then you find out immediately there's so many different options. You can start an Amazon business. Everyone talks about like crypto. Why don't you just create a passive crypto income source that you invest and your money grows? People talk about starting a marketing agency, like you help people. That's actually one of the things that I've done in the past. You help people with their marketing. You start a coaching business, right? They recommend that you help other people with the expertise that you have and start a coaching business. There are a ton of affiliate marketing opportunities. You're basically selling other people's products. Network marketing is there are different definitions and names for it. It could be, some people call it a pyramid scheme. Some people call it network marketing. You're pretty much networking and offering other people's products to your immediate network and grow like a tree-like structure with branches. Some people are a big fan of that. Real estate, many people see that real estate is booming and they think it's a good idea to get their real estate license or become a fix and flip person or become like a wholesaler. Insurance, people say that insurance is an industry that will stay here forever, and people go try to get their insurance license. I mean, we can just expand on these examples, but I just wanted to put the first 6, 7 that comes to mind. And these are usually the things that we hear from people who jump on the phone with us, right? So I wanted to go through some of them. And the way we will work through these is through this chart here, right? This 4 quadrants that I put together. So certain businesses make sense for certain people based on where they are in life, where they are in their personal finances. I'm going to push this to the side right now. So in these 4 quadrants, what you're seeing is low net worth, high net worth, low experience, and high experience, right? So when you're looking at a business idea and when you clearly define your point A, your current situation, we might just try to draw this here, right? So this is your current situation. This is your desired situation. And I'm just going to do current situation, desired situation, right? And this is where you need some kind of vehicle to take you there. This is my beautifully drawn car. My son could have done a better job, but we'll just go with that. So now you are clear on what this current situation is, where you want to go. Now, since we have that under control, you're deciding, all right, so now I got this Oz, what do I do next? So you have to place yourself in one of these quadrants. If you're a high net worth individual, meaning that your net worth is over $1 million or more, so obviously you belong here. But usually people who belong here, they also have high experience. So they're in the next quadrant, the top right corner, right? So this could be you. That just is very few people, right? Less than 1% of the population are high net worth people, but they also have high experience. Experience meaning not your experience in doing a certain task. Experience meaning business experience. They've dealt with businesses before, probably. Maybe they own multiple businesses if they're like a high net worth people. They have investment properties, they have investment vehicles and all of that. So most people are not in this category. Most people who are checking out an online business opportunity are in the low experience and low net worth category. So I was reading a research the other day. It said that if you have more than $400 in your checking account and savings account, your net worth is higher than 2/3 of the Americans, right? That's like when you say low net worth, I'm not talking about like poverty level. It's just you probably have a job and you can barely pay your bills, but you have roof over your head, but you don't have any, or you have very little or low business experience, and you don't have a lot of money to invest into a business, right? Because some people, high net worth people or high experience people, they can leverage either the experience or leverage how much money they have, and they can start a business. Maybe they start like a McDonald's and pay a franchisee fee of $1 million, and they own that right now. They buy multi-unit real estate properties or apartment buildings because they're high net worth individuals, right? So this is the sweet spot for most people. So if I can grab this little happy face here, when you're looking for, this is for most people, obviously you're going to do your own thing, but I'm just using this as an example. When you're looking for a business model, you want to look for a business model that will work with limited to no budget out of pocket. So if anything, a few $1,000s, and it could work with low experience, even if you have zero experience or a little, just a tiny bit of experience in entrepreneurship, it should provide you the result so you can reach this ultimate place of your desired situation. Is this making sense so far? I want to check with people before I kind of move on to the next area. So let me go back to Marcus. What's up? My main issue is how to find a business that wants a loan and get them to sign a contract. Yeah, that's most businesses out there, honestly. So it has to do with your approach. Hey, Nathan, D, what's up, everyone? Great to have you guys. Is this making sense so far? Samantha, anything you want to add up to this point? You're muted.
No, I don't think so. It's definitely well explained so far. So I'm definitely going to talk about go over more about BLB as well, because it seems as a lot of people don't know much about it in the chat.
Yeah, so we'll do that, guys. So since we're here representing BLB, we're going to talk about what it is that we do and how it works. But I want to go over that first, so we can deliver on that promise on helping you choose the best business model. So let me just go back to my masterpiece drawings there. There we go. Can you see? I can see the screen, Samantha?
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm going to bring this back. Let me just go back. This iceberg Titanic situation. So when you place most of the businesses, when you want to place most of the businesses on any of the quadrants, you will in a short amount of time, notice that they fit somewhere around this area, right? So they require high experience and they require a lot of money. Like, yes, you can literally start an Amazon business with no money, but just a little bit of money. But honestly, with the competition and how saturated the market is, you really need to have an ad budget and you need to find products and how competitive it is. And if you have zero online marketing experience, it's going to be very difficult for you to be successful in that one. So what ends up happening most of the time is people look at different business ideas here, and without understanding where they fall in the quadrant, they place themselves in a business that is here, right? And they try really, really hard because they have very little cash to spend to grow that business, but they bought into the idea of how lucrative that business could be, and now they're freaking out. They're not happy, and this works for any one of them over here, right? So more so on some than the others. Yeah, there are a lot of affiliate marketing structures that do not require a lot of money to start out with, but they require experience, right? They require experience on the marketing. You got to know how to scale an offer and make a lot of money with that. Network marketing, it might not require a high net worth, but it requires, again, experience for you to be able to talk to people, grow the network, show up to meetings. So it's very difficult to automate it. Real estate has to do with a lot of money, right? Yes, I understand there are offers out there. You can get started with 0% down. The reason I picked these, I've done all of them. Okay, so it's not just a random comparison. I used to have my Amazon shop. Some of them I'm still doing it. I have a crypto portfolio, but where I am in my career is different than most people. I'm considered a high net worth individual. I have a lot of business experience. I own multiple businesses. I'm also running a coaching company. I had an affiliate marketing business. I was a part of a network marketing scheme back in the day, and I did it for 2 years. And I promised myself I'll never do anything like that again. It was a learning experience. Again, nothing bad on the network marketers. I'm not hating on them, but it's just it wasn't for me. Real estate, I'm a real estate investor. I bought and sold real estate properties. insurance. I work with many of the insurance people in different industries. So the reason that obviously there are infinite amount of business opportunities, but I didn't want to evaluate anything through these quadrants if I didn't have my own personal experience with them. That's why I picked on those businesses. So as you can see, if you're starting an Amazon business, you need to have a lot of money and you need to have high experience. You need to learn it from some place. But if you're starting with the expectation of, oh, this is a low experience, low net worth concept, you're going to be disappointed. Same thing with the crypto. A lot of people like the entire market lost 80% of its value in the next past month or more so, right? So there are a lot of people that are just unhappy and they thought they were set for life because they didn't have a structure. They were not investing money that they could afford to lose. Marketing agency is a very complex business. I owned a marketing agency for 6 years. That requires a very high experience. So your cost is very low, but you're literally helping someone solve their marketing problems, right? And you need to know how to do marketing. If you haven't ran any Facebook ads, YouTube ads, or anything like that, it's going to be very difficult for you to manage someone else's account while someone else has a lot of skin in the game because they're spending their own hard-earned money. So we can go through each one of them, but whenever you're looking at a business opportunity, you want to do this comparison. And if you're like most people, you don't have a lot of money to spend or waste, you don't have a lot of experience, then you want to stay in this category with business models who promote that. But if you do have experience, certain businesses work in this area, but they can still cost a lot less and the profit margins go through the roof. So that's what you want. So you have some marketing or business experience, you want to start a business, then what you want to care about is the profit margin. So if I go through all this hassle and build a business, will that be profitable? If it is going to be profitable, what is the ROAS? ROAS in the advertising world is return on ad spend. If you're running ads, you want to know when I put $1 through a machine, does it spit out $2, $3, $5, or $10? Without knowing this, you can't really scale a business. And that the way you're going to get to your desired situation, desired destination will be a lot slower. That's why people get stuck around this area and they say, well, that business doesn't work. Well, as you can agree, all of these businesses work. You can find case studies of people making millions of dollars in any one of those industries. So it's not that industry is bad. It is in this quadrant, you place yourself in an area that you should not be in, and you started a business that belongs to that category, right? So this chart here belongs somewhere in the center here, right? That requires, a lot of them require a high experience or also high net worth. So once you know that, then now you're clear on what kind of businesses that you can look at. So through your research, then you're going to look at low experience, low net worth, and also stay away from any brand new industries such as crypto, because your risk tolerance is very low. You don't, someone who's a very high net worth, they can lose $200,000 or more in one day, and it might not mean a lot to them. Why? Because they didn't invest like everything that they got. They invested what they can afford to lose. But for someone, which is most of the people, if they lose, if they have $200,000, that's something, right? But they lose it all, that could be their lifetime savings. It could be devastating. And I would never want to see anyone go through that problem to go and put themselves in that situation. So you want to build a business that gives you the peace of the mind. Does that help you guys decide on how to decide on a business model to work with pretty much? So let me just see if I can exit out of this. Hey, Patrick, what's going on, buddy? Now, Samantha, while we're waiting for the responses, and if there are any questions and we're going to catch up with that, why don't you, for those who don't know who we are and what we do, why don't you just give like a quick intro as to what BLB does?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a company and we have a course where we teach anyone, doesn't have to have experience at all, how to start their own business as a loan broker in the alternative lending industry. Yeah, you might not know what that really means, but pretty much is you'll be starting your own business and you're helping small companies, as well as personal people, get capital and get the funding that they may need. And a lot of the time they can't get it from banks. So they're looking for the funding and they're looking for other lending options. And that's where you come in.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, this is summed up like what I have behind me. So I'm playing with my son's gun. But so this is called the lead flow chart that I created. Um, when I created Business Lending Blueprint, pretty much helping people become business loan brokers. The challenge I had back in 2019 is how do I dump my brain into some kind of visual that people see the vision that I have without going through like a 10-hour presentation, right? So for that reason, I wanted to create something. So with my team, we created this lead flow chart. So I can't really show the details at the bottom because it kind of walks through our lenders and the lending criteria, how to grow the business. But that's actually how I've grown my business. And everyone in the blueprint, they get this flow chart mailed to them. That's why we have hundreds of people posting their pictures of hanging this on their wall in their living room. It's pretty cool to see that. And people follow this model as they're generating leads and passing it off to our lending partners because you can grow this business in a couple of different ways. So that's a good segue into the business that we're in and how that's relevant to that quadrant strategy that we talked about, right? So lending is one of the oldest business concepts. It's been around for thousands of years. So brokers are the people who are between a business or an entity and a lender, person who has the money. It's an amazingly lucrative business, and most of the banks that you know, that's the business they're in, right? So they are giving money away to people and businesses. They're making interest in return. They're investing the earnings from the interest to buy assets. That's what a bank does. As a business loan broker, though, what has changed in the past, how many years since 2008, past 14 years, now you have the opportunity to become a business loan broker. Prior to that, if you wanted to become a business loan broker, you would have to work for a bank. Because as a bank, you need to be licensed, you need to be a business loan broker, then you go ahead and represent the bank products. But since 2008, and what happened in 2008, some of you might remember, some of you might not remember, there was a massive recession. There was a real estate bubble, and it burst pretty much and brought down the entire economy. Hundreds of thousands of people lost their jobs and lost their businesses. So it was a major recession, but the biggest impact was felt through the small business community, right? So they wanted to get funds from the banks. Banks almost totally stopped lending money because they were dealing with their own problems, and the government had to bail them out at the end. But this demand of funding coming from millions of businesses needed to be handled. And they gave birth to what we now call the alternative lending industry. So you can work with private lenders and supply these businesses with either startup capital, existing business loans, working capital, anything like credit-related funding, and also working capital for real estate investors, right? Those three main categories were established. And over time, it gained a lot of credibility because I was in the industry back in 2008. Not many people knew about what it is that we did back then. Now the awareness in the industry, especially by small business people, are a lot higher, right? But we're barely scratching the surface. That's why like this industry can become a business loan broker with as little as a few $1,000s. And once you have the relationship with the lenders, then you're not really trying to reinvent the wheel. You're running one of the simplest businesses. You're making money helping people get access to money. Whereas if let's go through like an Amazon FBA or drop shipping business, the way you're making money is to invest a lot more than just $1,000 or $2,000. First of all, because you need to learn how the business works. You need to research the products. You need to buy the products that people want to buy through Amazon. You sell it. Then as a return, you make money. Whereas as a business loan brokers, the product itself is the money. And money never goes out of fashion. If you're selling an Amazon product, you have to keep finding new products because once people notice that you're making a lot of money selling this coffee mug, well, guess what's going to happen? They're going to go ahead and knock it out, and they put the same exact coffee cup, and they're just going to sell it. There's massive competition. There are so many tools that allow people to search for the best-selling products and they sell it. Same thing with the real estate. Yes, there is no money down offers, but the reality of this, if you really wanted to have cash flow on real estate, well, you will need to put down 15, 20, 25% in an investment property. That's how I bought all of my investment properties. The problem with that is you need to have that damn money up front. Like that's a lot of money. If you're buying a $500,000 multifamily home, 20% of that is $100,000. So you need to have $100,000 cash in the bank. The best structure, I shot a short video on this recently, is to follow the model from Warren Buffett, which is the cash cow model. He says that you need to build a cash cow business, meaning that it spits out a lot of cash. It's easy to run. It is, low maintenance, low technology, not a brand new concept. It has to be a proven concept, right? He's not talking about go build the next app so you can become like a Facebook or Uber, but just go after a proven concept, but it generates a lot of income in a short amount of time and take the earnings from that and invest into other assets. That's how I actually built my wealth. I'm still building it. Is we have a cash cow business. We take the money from that, investing in crypto, real estate, housing, art, and all of that. So that's the same model I teach the people who follow me. So that's the best way to do that. You have to find a cash cow business, work on that, get it up and running. Don't just focus, don't try to create 5 different businesses because you're buying into this idea of multiple streams of income. I've done the same thing. They all failed because you can only focus on one thing at a time at a very deep level, right? No matter how smart you think you are, I'm sure you might be smarter than I am. But most people who just focus on multiple things, they're just average on all of them. Like you can't build mastery on multiple things at once. You can build mastery on one business, one simple task at a time. Even people who are in our program, we have so many different marketing avenues. So you have a constant influx of the leads. I think someone was asking that question, like, how do I get more customers, right? So there's so many avenues, but I tell them just because you have access to all of them doesn't mean that you must do all of that. You pick one and master that, then that's usually enough for you to generate a high stream of leads, and you start funding them, and then you make a lot of money. Then your lifestyle starts changing in a way that you might just start quitting your job, to buy your own house. That's usually a good investment in the long term. Like I know some people will say that is today the right time. I'm not saying, I'm just talking like in 20 to 30 year increments, right? In general, buying a house is a good idea. Okay. It might not be right now, but just, get your message out of that in any way that you want. But I'm just saying in general terms, it's a good investment to have your own house. So when you look at it from that light, I want you guys to think about the business loan brokerage in those quadrants, right? Because yes, can you become a business loan broker on your own? You can. The challenges that you're going to run into is threefold. First, you'll need to be really good at generating leads, which comes with experience, right? Maybe you have marketing background, you've done it in other areas, then fine, you can do that. The second thing is having knowledge on the lending options. Most people kind of pigeonhole themselves when they're in the lending industry. They just know about one product and one product only, and they try to fit that into everybody's desires, and that's not the case. You're leaving a lot of money on the table. Most people are not a good fit for one product only, so you need to expand within the same industry. Right? You're still focusing on one industry, but within that industry, you need to have access to different lending products. That's the number 2 challenge that you're going to have if you do this on your own. The third one is the lending partners. So when you just get started in this industry, there are lenders that you won't be able to just Google. And let's say you do Google them, there's really no reason for them to work with you if you're just starting out, right? You're not bringing a lot to the table. You don't know a lot about the industry. You don't know a lot about the business. And the lenders are usually, they're not in the business of training people. Otherwise, they would have started a training company, right? Many of them work with us because we take care of the training. They have a already trained, experienced business loan broker coming to them, and because of our relationship, it just works out. So if you're doing this on your own, it doesn't mean you can't do it. Just understand those caveats that you're going to go through these problems. That's why this business is great, but it's not for everyone, right? So you need to be okay with not going through a trial and error. Invest in your own education. Otherwise, if you want to start a business that you can just go ahead and knock yourself out and do it yourself, then there are other options that you can try maybe. But with this one, I built this myself, like through trial and error. It was amazing. Like if you kind of watch my backstory, like I made $4,000 on my first day in this business, and it caused massive transformation on my end. It was my ticket out of poverty. I grew up pretty poor, right? So you can do the same thing, but it is challenging. But when you have options to different lending options, when you can help different people. I mean, we even have people who focus on clients in Canada and other places because the alternative lending universe has been expanding over the years. It's not just United States right now. It's growing to United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand. Most of the English-speaking countries out there, they're adapting to alternative lending. So you're getting in the infancy stages of that. So I wanted to put things in perspective by going through that model that I just shared with you. So let me just bring it back again. Right? So most of the business that you're looking into that end up here, a business loan brokerage, it's right here. So even if you have low experience and low net worth, you can still start and kind of move to this direction and reach your desired situation, desired destination. So that's about it for today. Those are all the things that I wanted to cover. Unless you do have any questions, you can type it in the chat. I know there's a delay. We're going to go through that. And Samantha, can you walk me through what it is that you do for customers who do join Business Lending Blueprint?
Yeah, absolutely. So the first thing that we have you do once you have access to the course is to book your onboarding meeting. So that is with me. So I meet with every single member of BLB, and during that onboarding meeting, we discuss pretty much what your goals are with this business, your why, which is extremely important, of why you chose this business, and what do you want out of it. And then we also go over how the blueprint works, what you have access to within the blueprint, including one-on-one coaching, live Q&A calls throughout the week. You also have a support team that you can go to, and the Facebook community as well. So you can get advice from other members who have been in your position, who might currently be in the same position as you. And even the lenders and us from BLB are also in that group. So we can answer questions and give you advice through that community. But throughout it, I just go through pretty much a game plan of how it might be best for you to go through the blueprint and go through the material. Obviously, we understand everyone learns differently, so it's important for me to figure out how you want to learn and how you think you learn best. And then we go through pretty much what the best steps are for you to go through the blueprint and to become successful with it.
Awesome. Yeah. I just put a link on the page, guys. I think you can see it. If you're interested in talking to us about joining the Business Lending Blueprint, that's the survey you fill out first, so we understand if this is a good fit or not. Then you're brought to a Calendly page where you can book a Zoom call with our team to discuss Business Lending Blueprint, if that's a good fit for you or not. As Samantha was saying, people have different learning modalities, right? One thing we care a lot about in the Business Lending Blueprint is the first 90 days. So we help you with the first 90-day success plan, because we want to make sure that within the first 90 days, you have the business up and running, your funding deals, you understand how it works, because the strong foundation is super important to build any type of business. So then you work on building the foundation in a strong manner, and we're there for you. Besides our partnerships, our entire team, Samantha and the rest of the team will help you get there. Dawn, hi Oz, I need help to be able to join from Canada. Dawn, we have many members who join from Canada. Actually, what we recommend to our Canadian members is to build business in the United States, because you're in a fortunate situation. You have access to the entire US market. And because of the conversion rate, when you do make US dollars, it means it goes a longer way in Canada. So we do recommend it. So you can join as a Canadian. We even have lenders in Canada. But the alternative lending industry is not as developed in Canada as it is in the United States. So most of our Canadian members, we recommend them. They focus on the massive US market, and that's just what they do. James, I assume you're based in the USA. Yes, we're based in our main offices in New York City. We're a US company. Do your US contacts fund Canadians, or do you have Canadian lending partners? Great question. We do have Canadian lending partners. As I was answering Dawn's question, the only part that's different is the lending options in Canada are less than the lending options in the United States. But we have members who focus on both countries. But to make it even more profitable for you guys, the best thing to do, even if you are from Canada, we suggest that you focus in the U.S. market, because you can do that. Other countries, not so much. Like, we have many people from Middle East, from India, from Philippines and Thailand who want to do this. That you can't really do that, because for the lenders to be able to pay you, you need to have a business checking account in the United States. For most of the countries, again, I'm not a lawyer, this is not legal advice, but most of the countries, it's not really easy to open a business checking account in the United States. But for Canada, it's super easy, and we walk through how to do that in our program for our Canadian members. AED, I've been reviewing the materials for a couple of weeks. I'm ready to join. What additional flexible payment plan options can you offer? Our options are on the enrollment page. When you do check out the free training at the end, because we're a fully transparent company. If you watch that entire private training that I put together, at the end you see the payment options. So, but I still suggest that you book a call with our team and discuss your situation. About all the options that we have are fully disclosed on that offer page. I think we covered a good amount of material on the promise that we made, going over the best business to start in 2022. I genuinely do believe that starting a business loan brokerage business is the best one to start, because there are a lot of talks about an impending recession. Right, this industry was born out of recession. So many of the businesses that you might be looking into, they have not been through a recession, and this industry has been it's around because of the danger of recession. Back in 2008, that's when it started. It survived a pandemic, and we had members who've been growing their businesses even through a pandemic. So I would like you to keep those in mind when you're making decisions about Business Lending Blueprint or some other online business. But yeah, if you're interested in talking to us, definitely check out the link on the screen, businesslendingblueprint.com/survey. You type it in, it's going to ask you a bunch of questions for us to get to know you a little more. When you book a call, it's a Zoom call. And if you do miss it, if you no-show, we don't allow a second booking, because our calendars are usually packed. We want to make sure that we respect your time, and we want people to respect our time as well, because that slot that you just booked and you no-showed could have been helping someone else who wanted to really talk to us, right? So with that, guys, let me see. Yes, I viewed it a few times. Foreign banks with branches in the US should be okay. Yeah, again, I don't know. Like, that depends on the country. So I don't want to give you a blanket statement that, yeah, guys, you can open up a US bank account, because I've seen people do it, and I've seen other people saying that, no, it can't be done. That's not my specialty, so I can't really talk about it. If you figure out a way to do it, then you're welcome to join. But we don't cover every country and how that works, because it gets very complicated. With that, we're going to wrap it up. Samantha, thank you for joining me. Hopefully this was a beneficial session. Please don't forget to click the like button if you did like the content, and subscribe to our channel so you can get notified when we release new content. I'll just take this last question. Dr. Hope, as a Canadian, should I be at one point be present physically in the United States? No. You don't have to. You don't have to be in the United States. We have, again, probably a few hundred Canadians in our community. And actually, before the pandemic, there was a loan brokerage event in Toronto. I was there, and we were planning to do a live event in Canada for our Canadian members. But then obviously we got hit by a pandemic, and the whole thing had to be shelved. Great. With that, guys, thanks so much for joining. Looking forward to seeing you on the next live. Take care now.
Bye-bye.